So this is going to be a quick little pen review. I'm going to be drawing with the Sharpie S Gel pens. Yeah, I'm going to be using the 0.7 and the 0.5. Now, these are okay pens. They're not my favorite out of most pens you can get. But they have a nice black line and they seem to work pretty okay for most applications. Let's see here. I'm going to draw. So we're getting close to Halloween. I'm going to draw a ghosty. So now, as you can see with the pen, you can get a pretty good straight, crisp line. Though every now and then you do get a little bit of skip, which is fine. Most of the time you won't notice it, but it could be a problem if you're trying to stay consistent with like the stroke quality, especially if you're going to be taking your scanned artwork or line art into digital medium and actually editing it or filling it in, doing your flat colors and coloring it in that way. I know Clip Studio and Photoshop, they have good features to help with that, with a little bit of line jitter, but it's still better just to be able to select everything without all that. So yeah, doing a classic bedsheet ghost. I like bedsheet ghosts. They are the best ghosts in my opinion. Okay, so now as you can see, as the pen got more warmed up, the line became more dark and rich, which is good. Up here, it's not so bad because since it's the top of the ghost, I don't think you need that much line weight on it. But at the same time, I have to go back and do this right here, which is a little time consuming. And if you mess up like I did, you can actually lower the quality of your line work, which is fine. We can go back and fix that later. Or we could just leave it in. It's fine. I think one of the best things about hand-drawn art is a little bit of the imperfection of the human hand can be seen in some of it sometimes. Let's spend like 120 hours on one drawing getting everything perfect and super high detail. Now, that's another thing I want to talk about, though, right here, is that the pen doesn't really dry all that fast. Kind of, it'll streak every now and then. And for me, it feels weird when it does it because sometimes when you like, put more pressure on the pen, it doesn't actually streak as much. But then other times, like I know that was just a real light I did. It didn't even roll that time, but sometimes when you do real light strokes like that, I guess since the ink is sitting more on top of the paper, it's not really in the grain and tooth and texture of it. At least that's a theory. I'm not quite sure. But if you do use it with watercolor, just be careful because if it's not fully dry, it's going to bleed and it's going to look nasty. So, okay. Now, I use the 0.5 here. I do like the sharpness of the 0.5. Some eyebrows. That should do it. Make a little mini ghost. There we go. Extra details on the ghost. Give him some legs. Little round ball feet. Nothing too detailed. Yeah. Round ball feet. Some socks. Go. I'm not gonna give him a mouth. I think he's good the way he is. I don't like my ghosts that have mouths. I think the no mouth aesthetic is really adorable, and not everything really needs a mouth. All right. So use the sniffs. Give him a little bit of eyebrow texture. Going back to the 0.7 for that. It's kind of a fill-in. Yeah, these aren't my favorite pins, but they're not bad. I keep them on me in my book bag in case I ever need to sign my name or I have a note or sketch I need to do. So I use that to draw. I use these pins to draw them out. They're really not bad, though. Compared to something like a Pilot G2 or a Univision Elite, it doesn't really hold a candle to them, in my opinion. My personal favorites are the Vision Elites, but there's a couple other pins out there, at least in the ballpoint category, that outclass it a little bit, and I'll get talk about those later. But so yeah, little ghosty. Now, the pin itself, yeah, already fiddled with this one. You open it up. The usual. This is the inside. Excuse that sniffing. I'm so sorry. Ink tube, rolly ball. Can't really see it, but spring. Nothing fancy with the construction of this pen. It's a disposable ballpoint pen. It's meant to be used and abused and then thrown away. Most people aren't even going to use their pen to its full life expectancy anyway. So there you go. I'm at the stage of the drawing where I might overwork it. You could get away with. I think you would be able to get away with this if you wanted to color with it. Well, I mean, add liquid medium on top of it. Though I have tried marker with it, and it does seem to kind of dissolve. So I would either wait until you get it scanned and make a photocopy, then color that, or maybe try to dry it and seal it with some spray medium or something. No, marker on top of fixative don't really work too well, but there should be something else you find. Back of the ghosty. It does hold up well with processing techniques. This little scribble. It's not a bad pen. Not my favorite, but I do enjoy it. Though I won't be filling my bag with them too much because, well, I have boxes upon boxes of Uniball Vision Elites and regular Uniball pens, and it's gonna take me a while to get rid of all those. I'll start drawing more. Oops. But yeah, micro pen review, I guess. The Sharpie S Gel pens. Not bad.